What's up guys, Adam here, how you all doing? Now in this video I'm going to be doing a triple unboxing. You guys who follow me on the social networks, which if you don't by the way, please do start following me on the social networks. All the links are down below, bit of a shameless plug there. But we have 3 products and we've got the brand new iPods from Apple. Now I say brand new, it's really only the iPod Touch that's got any kind of significant changes other than colour. Now obviously all of them have been updated with this whole new selection of colours, which I've been into the Apple store and seen, and I think they look absolutely fantastic. Now you guys will be able to guess the colour that I opted for already. Obviously I went for the gold. I do love the gold colour. Not because it's gold and blingy, but I just think it looks great. It kind of makes these things look almost like a bit of jewellery. It just, to me, it just brings up the class. But I know a lot of you think the complete opposite and think the gold is completely awful and horrible. It's not a blingy gold though. It's quite a nice champagne-y gold colour. And that's the one that I've opted for on all 3 of these. Now, the iPod Touch, like I say, has had the most significant changes, so let's leave that one till last, and let's get into these others first of all. Now, the iPod Shuffle is a very small device. It's only about 1 inch squared. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the screen on it anymore. I liked the one that had the screen on it that you could turn into a watch. I thought that was great. But this is a tiny little 2GB device, and this is really designed for sports. So you can only fit a very limited amount of songs on here, obviously being due to the sort of size of the thing, 2GB. It's got no graphical interface or anything like that. It's literally just your very, very basic iPod, but it is tiny and it is quite attractive. So there it is. There is the device itself. Hopefully you can see that in there. There we go. And you can see very, very nicely presented. When you open it up, it really does feel like you're kind of opening up a bit of jewellery. And they all come out on this little bit of plastic sheeting, if you like, that you can sort of hold it in before you want to touch it and whatnot. And there you go. That is the iPod Shuffle. It's very, very simple. It's got a hold button. It's got power on off. And it also has a headphone connector as well, which doubles up as a charging port. Now, I've actually never, ever used an iPod Shuffle. So I don't know a huge amount about them, but obviously from, you know, basic details, you know exactly what kind of audience it's aimed for. But again, very, very nice in that new colour range, and also great for people who are running, cycling and all those kind of things and don't want the bulk of an iPod attached to them, or an iPhone or something like that, and a fairly decent price point as well. Now let's see what else you get included in the little box here. First up, you get the usual designed by Apple in California. Spit it out, Adam. Then you also get a little start here guide as well. In addition to that, you get, oh, they're not earpods, they are the old earphones. So they're just the standard original white Apple earphones. And then you get this really cute little cable, which is used for connecting it up, syncing it, and also charging it. And it does it all through the 3.5mm headphone jack, which I think is pretty clever indeed. And what a cute little cable. So yeah, that is the iPod Shuffle. Very, very simple target audience for everybody to work out. Now the iPod Nano, I'm not quite sure of the target audience for this, because the pricing for the iPod Touch is now very, very good. And for just a little bit more money, you can get the iPod Touch over the iPod Nano. There's not a huge difference in weight or size, to be honest, although it does look much tinier there. It's the iPod Touch itself is so tiny that you would barely notice it anyway. The iPod Nano, you cannot run all of the App Store applications on, so it's only really what you get, give or take. So this is, again, really, I suppose, more for athletes, people who are doing fitness and stuff like that, and only want audio, because that's really what this is all about. But let's take a look at it anyway. Again, beautifully presented in the sort of plasticky glass type case, strapped to this plastic board again, and it really does look fantastic. And in fact, on this one, because of the gold, I've never seen this before on an Apple device, but the volume button on the side has like a polished area, which looks really, really great. Volume rocker on the side, power on off on the other side, and then on the bottom we've got the lightning charger and also the 3.5mm headphone jack. It really does look sensational. Such a tiny bit of kit. that does quite an extraordinary thing, although not in these modern times. But anyway, that is the iPod Nano, 16 gigabytes of storage, so you can get a fair bit of information on there. And this is what you get included. So first of all, you get the quick start guide included in the box. Again, designed by Apple in California, which I actually managed to say correctly that time. And this time you get the earpods instead of the earphones, and you also get a lightning to USB cable as well. No doubt within a few weeks that will have broken, but that is another subject. And then last, but definitely not least, the new iPod Touch. Now, I've been playing around with my previous generation iPod Touch for the last sort of couple of days while I've been waiting for this. And it really is a sensational bit of kit. So tiny and so much power. And this one, even more power. It's got a much faster processor and a much better rear-facing camera as well. So this is almost as good as an iPhone, obviously forgetting the fact that it doesn't have any kind of cellular capabilities. But a lot of people say, what's the point in that when I can get an iPhone? Well, if you want all of the functionality of an iPhone, but the iPhone is just too expensive, you're talking, you know, in the region of £600, $600, $700, $800, whatever the case may be for an iPhone. This is about a quarter of that price at the 16 gigabyte level and does almost everything less the cellular capabilities. So for a child or an older person, or even just someone that's got a simple phone, but they want all of this functionality of applications, because that is really what this device is all about. The other two are about music. This is about applications. Then this is at a great price point. You're getting some great specs, great cameras, great performance, that ridiculous amount of fantastic applications, and it still is an incredibly beautiful device. Now, please, for those of you that are potentially looking into a product like this, or any device for that matter, do not go for the 16 gigabyte version. Try and get the money together and go for the 32 gigabyte version. 16 is just not enough in my opinion. Anyway, let's have a look. Again, presented in the same kind of immaculate way. And there it is. And let's just take a quick look at what we get included. So we get the kind of welcome leaflet, if you like, in there. We also get the USB to lightning cable and earpods again. It's a shame they don't include the little plastic case for the earpods so you can take them out and store them. But anyway, Apple don't include anything these days. It'd be nice for them to include a little pod as well, but there you go. Docking station, sorry. So here we go. There we go. The iPod Touch looking absolutely spectacular in the gold. My only issue is with the iPod Touch is, well, two issues I've got. The first one is they should have put Touch ID on it. It seems insane to me that they haven't put Touch ID on it. But that is just Apple, isn't it? They're going to wait till the next release, put it in and say, oh, wow, it's now got a great Touch ID, even though it's been around for years. It should have had wireless charging as well. But, you know, Apple are also being ridiculously slow on that. But the most important thing I think it should have had, and I'm comparing it here to a 6 Plus, but it should have had the same size screen as the iPhone 6. It should have had the 4.7 inch screen. 4.7 inch, such a sweet spot for a screen size. This one, the little 4-inch screen, to me, in this day, just feels too small. For typing on and stuff like that, it really is just that little bit too small for my liking. However, a lot of us lasted with the iPhone, the original iPhone, and then the iPhone 5 and the 5S that were this size or smaller, and we had no problem with it until these newer ones came out. So, you know, it's not quite that bad, but I do think, oh, Apple, why didn't you just give it the 4.7 inch screen? But maybe they wanted to keep it in between the iPhone and the other iPod models, who knows? But like I say, this iPod, although it's called an iPod, is really not so much about the music like the other two are. It's really about the apps, and you can put any app on here that you can on an iPhone unless it's got some kind of cellular tie-in. So yeah, looks fantastic. Volume buttons on the side, power button on the top, and nothing on the sides, and then microphone on the bottom along with speaker, lightning connector, and 3.5mm headphone jack. It looks sensational. Let's clip it out of this bit of plastic. I always worry about doing this because it's just so tightly put in there. I always think, oh, I'm going to snap it or break it. Well, eventually I got it out. What an absolute nightmare that was. Anyway, there we go. That is it, guys. That is the brand new 2015 iPod Touch. And what a beautiful thing it is. I mean, look how thin that is. It is just It's just a remarkable bit of technology. It's a shame that the camera protrudes ever so slightly on the back, but I'm guessing they had to fit that in. But like I say, Apple, why don't you just make it 1mm thicker, fill that with battery, make all of us happy, and we don't have a protruding camera. It's crazy to me why they think it's better to have a protruding camera than it is to make it, what's that, 0.5mm thicker. But anyway, rant over, unboxing over. Thank you guys ever so much for watching. Please do go ahead and hit that like button for me. I really do appreciate it. And I will see you all in the next one. Peace. This video was sponsored by Your Company Mobiles, providing SMEs throughout the UK with mobile, landline and converged solutions. Visit www.yourcompanymobiles.com or call 0800 038 5363.